I don't know why, but it's always easier to like enter YouTube and fetch the link after it started. If I enter YouTube before, then it kind of bugs out and the link is not available. We should probably get a more sophisticated way of getting this. Daily starting now. Maybe we should do one of those like intro videos that says hang on, about to start, or something like that, just to be fancier. Okay, the link is shared. We can start now. Um, in my arbitrary streaming studio program, Paul is the first one. So, Paul, do you want to go?
Yeah, sure. So today I've been mostly focusing on continuing the implementation of different state transition functions. Right now, I've been able to refactor the process execution payload. So with the reviews that I received, so now it should be ready for merge. Um, then I continued working on process block header. I'm passing, I think, 12 tests out of I think 13 out of 14. So I have only one left that doesn't pass, uh, which is, as I showed you yesterday, I just have like not getting the right index. So I'm trying to understand why. So this should be fixed pretty soon, I hope. And so yeah, and then after that I've been starting to work on a presentation for the EPF, starting to structure something, try to make something that makes sense and that looks nice, and also trying to showcase the most important things that we've done up to now, to show the value proposition of the client and why it's interesting. So yeah, mostly that.
Sure. Thank you, Paul. Mete, do you want to go next?
Yes. Today, I've been working on debugging and refactoring the stuff on the process tester slashing. And currently, I'm getting blocked up a bit because of the tests. I guess I couldn't set it up properly, and I couldn't find an example as well. So, like, yeah, that's my state right now, and I'm currently working on implementing the test better, and uh, we'll be debugging it later on if there is any other issue as well.
Yeah, sure. Thanks for letting us know. We can jump in a call afterwards or something like that, and we can,
Yes, it would be awesome. Yeah.
yeah, sure, we can live debug for a bit and get you unblocked. Okay, thank you very much. God's Power is next.
Alright, so I refactored the code based on your comments and I made a PR. So hopefully it has matched. And I also started working on the late P2P issue. So hopefully I should make a PR soon, maybe on Monday or so. But yeah, I started looking into the issue and I'm trying to read up and close my notes stuff. Yeah.
Okay, great. Yeah, I will review the PRs that I left yesterday and hopefully get them merged today. As a second question, do you have everything you need for the P2P stuff? Do you need more resources? Or are you okay with the things that you have to read for the other
Um,
issue?
yeah, so I think the code is quite straightforward in terms of like what has already been done. So, but I noticed that the networking parts, um, book doesn't have like networking parts. So, I'm, maybe I've not gotten to the point where I'm blocked, or I just went there to read more about it and it wasn't there. So I just focused more on the code, and that has been quite um, helpful so far.
Awesome. If you have any like networking hard questions, Thomas G is the best one at that. So you can ask him directly, but we'll all help you if you need to. Just saying because you're like getting into one of the hardest parts of the protocol, which is networking. But it seems that you have everything under control. So let us know if you need anything. Okay, the next one is Fernando.
Sure, okay. I keep working with the serialization part. We yesterday suggestions of adding a predefined scheme. The encoding part makes more sense, looks simpler. I also added a commit about that to the previous pull request. I also start to working with the decoding part. I started with the most difficult one, that is the decoding of the variable length list. I am basing on the Lighthouse consensus client, ROS logic, use that as reference for Elixir. So far, the tests are passing, so it looks great. So I am keep working on that. I also made a commit of that part to the coding part.
Awesome. Do we have anything like up for review or draft PRs for now?
It is a draft PR in the repo.
That's perfect. Thank you. Okay. Cash, do you want to go next?
Sure. I was not very active the past couple of days. I was traveling and got sick. But today I was working on completing the issue, the process justification and finalization. But the spec that is linked in the issue, it expects the beacon state to follow the phase zero spec. So uh, in the process justification finalization function, they call the get matching target attestation, and that function internally it tries to access the pre current I forgot the name, something current epoch attestations field, uh, but that field does not exist in the beacon state container. So I think the spec that is linked has to be changed to it has to point to the newer version, the alter spec.
Yeah, we're usually pointing everything to Capella, which is the latest version that we're using. But if there's some like a link that's pointed to the wrong direction, we can change it. And also, like one of the we can specifically check for your issue in a couple of minutes. But as a general idea, using Eth2book is a nice one because it usually has especially the one-page specs contain mostly a condensed spec for all of the latest versions. But I will give a look to your issue specifically to check what's happening. Um, yeah, I will give immediate attention to that right after the meeting. Thank
Yeah,
you.
it's possible that when we create some issues, considering we have built consolidated specs, it's possible that we have both versions of the functions, and it already happened that unfortunately we mistake the old one for the one we need to implement. So it's possible that the one that you have is not the right one. It's the older one, but we never implement the old ones. We only implement for now the Copela one. That's why, for example, we sync from a checkpoint because for now we only support Capella, and then in the future we will support the previous forks and the transition from those forks.
Yeah.
So yeah, I sent you the link in the private chat. You should be able to see, as Thomas said, the E2 book is updated to Capella, or we'll look into it. But definitely we can also update the issue, but implement the latest one for now. Yeah.
Sure. Thanks.
Thank you, Paul. Uh, Fully agree with that. And also, yeah, that's it. Thank you, Akash. We'll let you know ASAP. But what Paul said still holds. So always the latest version. Tomas, do you want to go next?
Yeah. Yesterday I worked adding telemetry to the node, also Grafana and some visualization of the events create produced by the telemetry. I already have it all running. I have just to finish some things. For example, adding a makefile target that takes care of running both the node and the Docker containers with Grafana and Prometheus. And fixing some issues with the visualization of the dashboards in Grafana. But after that's all done, uh, I'll be free for anything else. I might review your PR, Thomas, of the tests you are working on. Yeah, that's all.
Thank you. Having some observability will be a huge difference for debugging in some parts. And also it will be something very nice to show for like not only for the APF, but in general, having a node that you can just open up Grafana and see what's happening instead of just seeing the logs in a terminal. It's a very like differential feature. Um, a lot of the current nodes already have some level of functionality, but we of observability functionality, but we do need to improve that. So thank you for making progress in that. I think that I'm the only one missing. I was reviewing some PRs yesterday, and after I finished, I went back and fixed the CI and added the makefile targets for the generated spec test PR. I received a lot of helpful tips from Thomas G, especially in related to CI, as I was having some really weird cache problems. After that, yeah, so I think that the PR is almost ready to merge. I just need to address the comments that Thomas left me on my PR, and after that we will have like more efficient generated spec tests. We were discussing a bit about the benchmarks. Running the full test is not faster than before, especially from a cold state. If the tests are already generated, it might be, but it's especially faster when running just one runner. Like if you only want to run like a mainnet epoch processing, it's very fast as compared to before, where like independently of what you were running, you were taking a lot of time. So that's like the main improvement that we are having here, and this should help also. This should also help with improving the performance of the formatter and the linter, which also impact the LSP, because those are a couple of things that before usually took a long time because it needed to compile all of the test cases in memory each time, and that's not being done anymore. So yeah, that should be better. It's way better in my computer. I hope it's the same for others. And yeah, we still have some place to go with that. It's not the final improvement, but it's a first one and a big one. So yeah, after that, I will probably go back to fork choice, and I need to get a couple of things related to the bootcamp in place, mostly like setting up the Elixir exercises, setting up the first workshop, etc., which we will probably do at some point next week. Yeah, I will be doing those things after this feature. So yeah, do we have any final comments or questions?
Yeah, so I have a question relating to P2P. So first off, what is Proto? What is it supposed to do? So I've been seeing that and kind of I don't know what it's supposed to do. And if you have any material that could help, I would appreciate that too.
I lost you a little bit on the last part due to connection, but I mostly heard you. Is your question related to Proto, the Proto format?
Yeah, so I'm asking what does it do?
Yeah, so like we can talk about it more in depth later, but I will give you like a TLDR of the issue. Protobuf is a protocol designed by Google to serialize and deserialize arbitrary structures. It's similar to SSZ, but it allows you uh, to have some other things like union types. Like you can have a request type, and the request type can be a union of different kind of requests. And it's as we have like our node, and then on the other hand we have the lib2p section, and those, one is in Elixir and one is in Go. We communicate with we using ports, and ports need data to be serialized and deserialized. So we are using Proto as a serialization mechanism to communicate between the node and the libp2p sections. But that's it. And it's fully arbitrary that we chose Proto. We could have chosen Avro or another serialization mechanism. We chose Proto because it's like very quick to set up, very easy to use, and it has union types. We wouldn't have, it wouldn't have been as nice to use SSZ because it doesn't have union types. But that's it. It's not like a central part of the system. It's just some utility that we use to communicate fast and easy and efficiently. But we could have gone with other mechanisms or even JSON, but we prefer to use like an efficient one instead of just plain text.
Okay. So I think I have one more question, which is if I want to start up the client and like communicate, I don't know if that's available communicate because I tried make IEX and I got like an error or a message that says I should use make checkpointing. So when I use that, I don't know what I was expecting, but it just started and like stopped. And it didn't fail. But am I supposed to add like a link, like from the like a checkpoint link or something like that?
Can you share what you did and the errors or the problems that you had in Telegram or in like if this is something longer, we can do it in an issue, but I think it's kind of short. But if we have that in Telegram, we
Yeah. So
can actually see it like what you executed and what you saw.
yeah, so it's not like an error. I'm just asking like if I want to run the client, which of the commands should I use? Yes.
First, you should run makex. If it stops with an error mentioning checkpoint sync, then you should first run make checkpoint sync. That downloads state data, and you only need to do it once. But it's important after running make checkpoint sync, you wait until the X prompt shows. After that, data is saved in the database, and you can, next time you want to start the node, you can just run make X. It should start in like 5 seconds or something.
Oh, nice, nice. So yeah, I think that's helpful because it was waiting, but it didn't throw an error. So I didn't even know that anything was downloading. So yeah, I think it would be nice if it shows that something is happening. So like I know that I'm supposed to wait.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Awesome. Yeah, it seems like we have a UX problem there that we probably want to solve. Thank you very much. That kind of input is very valuable. So if everyone encounters that kind of stuff, like using the app and suddenly getting stuck and not knowing if it's working or not, those are definitely the UX problems that we want to fix so that people don't get frustrated with our node. Like imagine if we get frustrated and we are the devs, that wouldn't be nice for people using it that don't want to develop, they just want to set up the node. So those are very useful comments. Thank you, Power. Okay, if there is nothing else, I think that we can finish the daily for today. But thank you all for joining and see you all tomorrow.
Bye.